Welcome to Shovel Kings, a year in the dirt. On the prairies, trust is built face to face. By looking someone in the eye, by shaking their hand. By showing up in person, not just when it's convenient, but when it matters. Even if it's a 6-hour drive in -35 across the bald prairie. This is agriculture where relationships are still personal. It's mid-February 2025 in Saskatchewan, 1 mile from the Manitoba border. It's a time when snowbirds are playing pickleball in Arizona, farmers are between trade shows in Mexico, and some folks are crunching numbers for the season ahead. Crop Aid Nutrition has made the 6-hour jaunt to be in person with the team from Aberhart Farms, because that's how relationships are made. They are built one kitchen table meeting, one summer crop check, and one delivered promise at a time, where your word carries weight, and where how you do business matters just as much as what you sell. Aberhart Farms traces its roots back to 1961. That's when Harvey Aberhart, just 10 years old at the time, moved with his family to what is still the home farm today.
In 1961, my dad bought this 3/4 of land here, and I remember coming over across the field, a hay rack full of stuff when I was 10 years old.
3/4 of land, no legacy farmyard, no finished house waiting for them. Their first housing was makeshift wooden grain bins. In the beginning, the farm was a true mixed operation. Grain, cattle, pigs, horses, chickens. Fertilizer use was minimal by today's standards. Livestock paid the bills. Back then, it was the only way you could survive because it kept the family fed. Harvey's father believed strongly in avoiding debt. He didn't want to work for the bank or for machinery companies. Harvey saw it a little differently. He understood that equipment and financing were part of modern farming, but only if used carefully. He never planned to farm full-time. He became a journeyman electrician, and when farming alone wasn't enough to support a family, he worked off the farm to make it viable. In 1974, they built the house that still stands today, largely by hand. There was a period with dairy cattle, about 30 cows, before deciding to exit rather than overinvest in aging infrastructure. The 1980s were hard years. Interest rates climbed, margins disappeared. Survival wasn't guaranteed. Over time, the farm changed again. As Terry stepped in, the focus shifted toward expansion, modern systems, and building a grain operation suited for the future. Today, Aberhart Farms is a modern prairie farm, still grounded in its past, still careful with risk, and still shaped by the belief that how you do business matters. Because nothing here was handed to them. And that history still shows up at the kitchen table. On a prairie farm, nothing gets a free pass. It has to earn its keep. There have been plenty of jugs and bold claims that have come and gone, and farmers have a long memory. Skepticism here isn't negativity, it's just practical experience.
We can tell you everything that's in our product, and I'm a full believer in transparency, no proprietary information. Everything's there, and we got all the science and why these ingredients work together.
What does it do? Where does it work, and where doesn't it? What happens when conditions aren't perfect? Every farm is different. They talked about compaction, seed treatment, and how to get a crop moving in short seasons. They discussed foliar nutrition, salt pressure, and the waste of inputs on unproductive acres, because fixing symptoms without fixing the system never lasts. They talked about testing, small acres, side-by-side comparisons, real controls. They want to know how to make it work for their farm, not someone else's. They know there are no silver bullets, and they've seen where products have failed in the past. So they stay focused on crop checks, on follow-up, on working the simple soil health system snout to tail. There's a privilege in doing business on the prairies. It's the privilege of trust, of being invited into someone's yard and sitting across the table from people who built everything, one decision at a time. Out here, reputation isn't a slogan, it's currency. And if you burn it, your business won't grow. That's why this relationship matters. Not because of one product, but because of shared values. A belief in doing the work properly, in learning from the land, and in getting better together. This is the kind of business you can believe in, and the kind of partnership you want to build.